You've probably seen this trend, the one where a girl with a cappuccino cup instead of a head is sitting on a bench next to this overly serious wooden-looking character. Or that other one where they're sitting together holding hands in an overly dramatic way.
Ballerina cappuccino.
Or even the one where, in the middle of all this chaos, the wooden guy suddenly proposes to her. There are many characters in this trend, and new ones are emerging. There's no plot, no dialogue, no logic, but somehow your brain locks in, you replay it, again and again. Maybe you're not even sure why. This chaotic style has a name now, Italian Brainrot, and whether you've heard the name or not, you've definitely felt its pull. On TikTok alone, this trend has passed 400 million views, and it's spreading faster every day. The videos are short, bizarre, packed with fast edits, bright colors, and emotional whiplash. They don't make sense, but that's kind of the point. And no, watching these videos doesn't mean something's wrong with you. But what most people don't realize is this: the impact doesn't stop at your screen. It might sound surprising, but the same mental loops that keep you watching can also show up in how you spend your money. From impulsive purchases, to falling for fake discounts, to jumping into investments without thinking, our brains are shaped by the way we consume content, especially content like this. In this video, we're going to explore what these viral trends are really doing inside your head, how that affects your focus, dopamine, and financial behavior, and what you can do to push back. If you've ever felt like your money disappears faster than your attention span, you're not imagining it, stick around because this rabbit hole goes deeper than you think. And hey, if you're into content that connects psychology, money, and internet culture, go ahead and hit subscribe. You're in exactly the right place. So, let's zoom out. What is Italian Brainrot really? Imagine a video with no plot, no logic, and no consistency. Just 15 seconds of pure chaos. It starts with Tralalero Tralala, the shark in Nike sneakers, dancing like it's the most normal thing in the world. Cut. Now it's Bombardiro Crocodilo, a crocodile-headed warplane bombing the Colosseum. Cut. Now it's Brr Brr Patapim, the weird assassin-looking creature with human-like legs and a cartoon nose, running in circles like he's chasing nothing. Then cheese explodes. Then a screaming goat. Then opera trap music drops like it's a Marvel movie trailer. You're confused, you're entertained, you're watching to the end. That's Italian Brainrot. It's not one character, it's not one storyline. It's a whole visual universe of randomness, filled with recurring symbols, chaotic edits, glitchy pacing, and emotional whiplash. And it's exploding. That's not just viral, that's cultural saturation, the kind of thing that shows up in group chats, memes, parody accounts, even branded marketing. The core ingredients? Rapid, unpredictable edits, familiar but absurd characters, music that makes you feel like something dramatic is about to happen, even though nothing ever really does. These videos don't offer answers. They loop, they leave you hanging. They feel like the internet having a fever dream in real time. And that's exactly why they're so powerful. See, the human brain is wired to love novelty, especially when it breaks patterns. Psychologists call it a pattern interrupt. When your brain expects one thing, but gets something totally unexpected, your mental filters snap open. You pay attention, you wonder what's coming next. And these videos, they serve up what's next every 1.5 seconds. It's no coincidence. According to digital media researchers at MIT, content that's fast, unpredictable, and emotionally intense has the highest engagement velocity, meaning it spreads faster, sticks longer, and hijacks your brain more deeply. Now on its own, watching a few of these clips isn't a problem. But the real question is, what happens when this becomes your brain's default input? When randomness and overstimulation become normal? What happens to your patience, your focus, your ability to pause before spending money? Because this kind of content doesn't just change what you watch, it reshapes how your brain makes decisions. And next, we'll talk about exactly why your brain loves it and where that leads. So, what's really happening in your brain while you're watching these chaotic, context-free videos? Why does your thumb keep hovering over the replay button, even when nothing in the video makes any sense? Let's break it down. First, there's something in neuroscience called a dopamine loop. Your brain loves dopamine. It's not just the pleasure chemical, it's the anticipation chemical. It fires not when you get the reward, but when your brain thinks a reward might be coming. These Italian Brainrot clips are a non-stop casino of dopamine predictions. Every second throws something new at you. A goat, a Vespa, a screaming sandwich, a dramatic zoom. Your brain keeps thinking, wait, something's about to happen. But it never really does. That uncertainty creates a cycle. Your brain leans forward, your attention sharpens. You crave resolution that never comes. This is called reward prediction error. The psychological tension between what you expect and what actually happens. Slot machines use it, TikTok uses it, and Italian Brainrot, it's built on it. Then there's the tempo. According to researchers at Stanford, the average Gen Z viewer expects a meaningful shift in content every 1.3 seconds. That's insane. But it explains why fast-cut, absurdist content feels good. It overloads your limbic system, the emotional, impulsive part of your brain. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the rational part that makes long-term decisions, gets sidelined. In other words, the more you feed your brain high-speed chaos, the more it wants only that. It's like trying to eat plain rice after living on hot sauce and cotton candy. And here's the real kicker. The more overstimulated your brain gets by this kind of content, the harder it becomes to tolerate normal life. Quiet moments feel boring. Slower videos, you scroll past them, reading a paragraph, too much work, too much. And this has a ripple effect, not just on your attention span, but on your decision making. Because when your brain's used to instant dopamine, flashy visuals, and zero effort, what do you think happens when it comes time to wait before making a purchase? Read the fine print? Compare prices? Stick to a budget? Those things feel slow, annoying, even uncomfortable. So instead, we default to buy now, think later. Everyone's talking about this stock, I'll just try it. It's on sale. I'd be stupid not to get it. And just like that, the same brain trained to scroll nonstop starts spending nonstop. Now we're not saying one meme ruined your retirement plan. But if this is your daily brain diet, you better believe it's shaping how you think and how you spend. Next, we'll look at how those behaviors show up in real-world, money-draining decisions. And you might be surprised how familiar they feel. So, what happens when your brain's been trained to chase instant rewards, nonstop novelty, and zero friction? Simple. That same system starts leaking into your money decisions. Let's look at a few danger zones where this plays out and see if any of these feel familiar. 1. Impulse spending. You're half asleep scrolling. Suddenly, a limited edition hoodie drops. The ad says, only 2 left, 30% off, ends in 10 minutes. You don't think, you click, you buy. Why? Because your brain's been trained to respond fast, not pause. According to the Journal of Consumer Research, over 40% of online purchases in the US are made impulsively, without prior intention. That's not a fluke, that's a feedback loop. 2. Hype-based investing. Your friend says, dude, this new crypto is about to blow. Get in now. You've seen 5 TikToks about it. You know literally nothing about how it works. But you feel late already, so you buy. Binance data shows that 62% of first-time crypto investors lose money within 6 months, mostly from jumping into trends too fast with too little research. And what drives that? The same FOMO loop your brain learns from viral content. 3. Scarcity shopping, flash sales, countdown timers, only one left in stock. Your brain sees urgency equal value, but in reality, that deal's coming back next week. Or worse, it was never real to begin with. Amazon uses dynamic scarcity tactics to trigger faster purchases, and they work, even when you know the trick. 4. Buy now, pay later traps. It feels harmless. Split this $80 shirt into 4 easy payments of $20. But what happens when you've done that 6 times in 1 week? Research from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau shows that over 10% of BNPL users miss payments, and many end up paying fees or overdrafting as a result. Why? Because the friction is gone. It feels like not spending, even though it is. 5. Lottery and Powerball fever. $1.7 billion jackpot. You know the odds are garbage, 1 in 292 million. But that viral photo of a giant check, the emotional high of what if, that's not logic. That's a dopamine spike. Same brain system as the slot machine, same click, same cost. What ties it all together? These aren't just random slip-ups. They're predictable outcomes of how your brain's been conditioned. And the more overstimulating content you feed it, the more your brain craves the same speed, thrill, and urgency everywhere, even when real life requires the opposite. Next up, we'll zoom in on the brain itself, the tug of war between the part of you that wants the rush and the part of you that knows better, but often loses. So let's get inside your head for a second, literally, because what we're dealing with here isn't just bad habits or lack of discipline, it's an actual tug of war inside your brain. On one side, you've got your limbic system. This is the part of your brain that's emotional, impulsive, and reward-seeking. It loves quick hits. It reacts fast, doesn't ask questions, and absolutely thrives on chaos. Then, on the other side, you've got the prefrontal cortex. That's your logical, planning, decision-making center. It thinks long-term. It slows you down. It says things like, "Do you really need this? Maybe wait before spending. Let's check the budget first." The problem? These two parts don't always work together. In fact, the more overstimulated your limbic system becomes, the quieter your prefrontal cortex gets. And content like Italian Brainrot, it's like a HIIT workout for your limbic system. Fast, intense, emotionally chaotic, no time to pause, no space to think. Researchers at the University of Cambridge have found that prolonged exposure to high-stimulation media literally causes reduced activation in the brain's decision-making regions. Your slow brain starts getting drowned out by your fast brain. And when that happens, your default becomes swipe first, ask later. Buy now, figure it out tomorrow. Whatever, I'll deal with it later. And look, this isn't about blaming yourself. The brain is meant to work this way. It evolved to keep you alive, not to help you make smart investments on Klarna at 2 a.m. But in a world where the loudest, fastest, most chaotic content gets the most attention, the part of you that's actually good with money is constantly getting outshouted. So what do we do about it? That's where we're headed next. In the next section, I'll show you 5 ways to start retraining your brain. Not to become a robot who never has fun, but to build a buffer between impulse and action. So your next financial decision doesn't come from brain rot, but from real, conscious choice. So now that we know what's going on, what can you actually do about it? Because let's be real, you're not going to delete every app. You're not moving to a cabin in the woods, but you can retrain your brain to pause, to think, and to make choices that serve you, not sabotage you. Here are 5 practical ways to start fixing the brain rot in your finances. 1. The 24-hour rule. Every time you want to buy something that's not essential, wait 24 hours. No checkout, no Apple Pay. Just pause. A study from the University of Chicago found this one shift cuts impulse purchases by nearly 30%. Why? Because it gives your prefrontal cortex time to weigh in. That part of your brain needs space to speak, and often the desire fades. 2. Scheduled dopamine. You don't have to give up fun content, just contain it. Pick a window. I watch dumb chaos from 8 to 8:30 p.m. That's it. No more letting viral brain rot clips hijack your focus mid-workday. It's like dessert. Enjoy it, but don't make it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3. Concrete money goals. Vague goals don't work. Save more is useless. Try. Save $1,000 in 3 months. Pay off credit card X by November. When your brain has something to aim for, it's less likely to chase shiny distractions. 4. Learn before you spend. Make a rule. Before any big purchase or investment, spend 30 minutes learning something about it. Watch a review, read a breakdown, ask someone who's already done it. This activates the thinking part of your brain before the emotional part takes over. And yeah, it saves you real money. 5. Audit your dopamine budget. You know how you track spending? Start tracking where your attention goes, because both time and focus are currencies. Spend all your mental energy on noise. you won't have any left for the stuff that actually matters. So check your digital habits like you check your bank account. Where's the drain? What adds value? What's just fast dopamine with no return? If you try even 2 of these strategies this week, you'll feel the shift, not just in your money, but in how you think, focus, and make choices. And if something clicks for you, drop it in the comments. I'd love to know what worked. So let's bring it all together. Italian Brainrot is funny, it's absurd, it's chaotic. And yeah, it works, but it also shows us something bigger, how easily our brains can be trained for instant gratification, mindless consumption, and reactive spending. Because here's the truth most people miss. How you scroll affects how you spend. The clips you watch on autopilot, they shape the mental habits behind your purchases, your savings, even your investing. But now you've got the insight. You've seen the system from the inside. And more importantly, you've got tools to push back. So here's your challenge. Try even one thing from this video this week. The 24-hour rule. A dopamine budget, a pause before that next impulse buy. Then come back and tell me in the comments what shifted for you. And hey, just so you don't feel like you're the only one messing up sometimes, my last impulse buy? 2 packs of LED candles that I still haven't opened. Don't judge me. If you made it all the way to the end, seriously, thank you. So go ahead, hit subscribe, because you're not just fixing your feed, you're training your brain and protecting your wallet.